Morning, everybody. George Moorhead with Bentley Properties, and today is our Q&A week. We're going to go over, some real estate trends. We're going to take a look at mortgages and mortgage interest rates. We've got 5 really good questions that the team pulled out that we're going to go over, and then a little bit about what to expect. So, with that, if you would, make sure that you're putting the "Hey, I can hear you." If you like what you're hearing, give me the big heart or the wow, and definitely share this with your friends and family and whatnot, because there's no strings attached. It's just really good information for you each and every week. So with that, let's get on with the first couple of questions. And let's see here. All right, so George, in the Fox Q13 interview, you were with Hannah Kim. She made the comment that buyers are making offers on homes without seeing them except virtually. Should we do that? Okay, so I was a little surprised to hear that, and the answer is no. I don't think that is a great idea. I think it is a great idea to filter through homes and to see, basically what's a good fit, for myself and my family, and to make sure that you're not just looking at a ton of homes, you're being a lot more hyper focused. One, for safety, and two, to save everybody time and whatnot, when you're out. And again, the biggest one, being safe. There are too many different factors that go into deciding whether or not a home is a good fit for you. The natural light, the floor plan, how does the lot lay out, what types of amenities are there. They have what we call creative photography, and sadly enough, they use a wide angle lens, or what we call a fish eye lens, to make rooms look bigger. And when you look at them online, they look amazing, and then you get out there and you're like, is this even the same house? And so no, I think that making offers on homes without ever seeing them is a bad idea. And yes, it's a good idea if you just use it as a filtering device. Many of our clients have gone out and, or we have given them video updates and whatnot, and saying, hey, listen, this room is, 1/3 the size, or half the size, or 2/3 the size, based on, the lens. And, when you look at literally thousands of pictures every single month, we get pretty good at trying to figure things out and knowing the home styles and who the builder might be and things like that. So that hopefully will answer your question, Jeff. Next question. George, loved your interview in the Puget Sound Business Journal. Thank you. Do you really think our market is that healthy? All right. Hannah Kim asked the same question yesterday of me during the interview that we had with Fox Q13. The answer is yes, all things considered. So understand that there is going to be the expected reduction in numbers, not only in sales, not only in homes coming on market, not only pended and things like that. That is expected. However, if we look back at 2008, 2009, our numbers are significantly better. And again, they're two entirely different experiences. The required to stay home versus an economic, which, yes, this is becoming a little more economic, okay, and will stay economic, but the difference is that it's because people are staying home. It's not because of, a financial absolute meltdown, which, are two different things. So all things considered, yes, we are still doing very well in the market. So during the interview yesterday, we made the comment that there were 222 pending homes in King County alone, residential in King County alone. There were 298 homes that came on market, all right? Just in the last 24 hours since then, we've had 220 homes go into a pending status. Again, pending meaning that you got a buyer and you have a seller that mutually agreed on a price and terms. And the home is now officially in a pending or pending inspection status, which takes it off the market. Now, we also had a higher number of homes. So there were 274 homes that came on market. And that's really awesome too. We do see an increase of what we call going back on market. That's where a buyer and a seller agreed to a price. For some reason, the transaction fell apart, and the home is now back on an active status again. And that's okay, because all things considered, there are some hiccups that are happening, with financing. As an example, Steve, one of our team members, they ended up, fortunately, the seller was very gracious. The financing, was taking longer and longer because of getting, everybody's got to do things remote, and the underwriter was working from home, and they were having internet issues. Anyway, everything did come together. They ended up closing. Everything will be fine. But in some circumstances, that's not happening for one reason. The transaction's coming apart. And so we're seeing a greater number of back on market homes. Now, because we still have a very limited inventory, because we still have a huge pent up demand with buyers and interest rates being as low as they are, we are seeing people going out. We showed a home that had 13 scheduled showings on the first day that home went open. Yes, all homes are done by appointment only to be safe. Everybody gets enough time. There's no cross-populating of people. There's the agent plus one is what we're calling it. So, spouses have to come in separately with the agent as they walk through the home. That is okay. It's a little bit longer of a process, but people are still doing what they need to do. So when we take a look at some of our numbers, this is as of today. So homes for sale year over year are up 30.7%. Actually, this is month over month. I'm sorry. Month over month is up 30.7. Our pending sales, sure, they're down about a third, but we're not that far off of where we were at this time a year ago. In fact, only 7.7% down from that. Solds, there we go, 7.7 a month over month. Now you might say, George, those seem like some big numbers. Okay. This one right here, that's 500 transactions. This is Northwest MLS wide. Again, that's from Bellingham all the way down to the Tri-Cities. All right. So that's a big area. And we're only talking about 500 transaction disparity. That's not that many. So understand, people are still out. Again, that pent up demand is still there. Yes, people are being cautious, but people are still looking at buying homes. They still see that massive opportunity, and they are still doing their thing. New listings, sure, they're down 23.8%. Not uncommon. Again, this is month over month. So if we look at it, and we know that November of last year was a great market. It was massive because those interest rates are coming down, the pent-up demand, the buyers are coming in again, sellers were coming into the market, and we actually ended up dropping down to 0.9 months of inventory, and now we're bumping back up again to about 0.5. But then each month, December, January, February, even into March, we saw, double-digit volumes of homes coming back in, or not back in the market, but coming on market, and buyers matching that. And so our inventory, even though it raised, incrementally, we were seeing an equal number of homes coming off. And if you look at the chart, so Marie's going to post a chart for you. It's going to give you some insights. You're going to see we are right on par with prior years. And again, just keep it in perspective, okay? Yes, the media's job, and I give Hannah Kim a big, 2 thumbs up. She got it right during her entire piece, where she brought reality into it, that yes, buyers and sellers are still doing their thing at a slower pace, at a longer timeline, but it's still happening. And that is different than a lot of the other folks. Mark Stiles at the Puget Sound Business Journal, thumbs up to him. He also got it right. And I think that is awesome that they're actually looking at the real metrics instead of the perception or maybe what's happening in other states, which is irrelevant to us. All right, so with that, I'll get to the mortgage interest rates. I'll just hit it now. So question number 4 was, what are the rates today for mortgages? I heard FHA loans are not happening right now. Okay. Mortgage rates today are between 3.125 and 3.25 between Dan Golden and Juliana so Dan Golden's with Cornerstone, and this is going to be important. Juliana is with Qualstar Credit Union. That's also going to be important for you guys. Their pricing is right on par with each other, but here's the thing. So FHA, here's the scoop. All right. So the zero down programs naturally have been paused, right? Because it's, again, remember, mortgages are based on risk. And zero down in where people are at home and jobs are still a little suspect, Well, they're being a little more cautious. So they've sidelined some of those zero down programs, except for VA. Okay. Now, FHA, because there are again so many refinances, so much happening right now with these kind of the mortgage rates have stabilized, so not going up and down like this hourly, which they were doing in the last few weeks. Now they're more doing this. So they're a lot more stable. We're not seeing those massive influxes up and down. So again, volumes of people are refinancing. People are still doing a lot of new mortgages. And we're not talking about here locally, but we are talking about across the United States. So keep that in mind when we talk about FHA, because FHA, even though they allow greater debt ratios, interest rates tend to be a little bit higher, but they're easier to do conventional loans. And so what some of the other lenders are doing after chatting with Juliana and Dan is that they're actually raising their cost of that mortgage. So the interest rates and the points. And remember, a point is 1%. The cost of getting that mortgage. Why? Because they're trying to drive people to conventional loans because they're more efficient, they're easier to do. There's a broader volume, as far as being able to guarantee that process. Now, does that mean that FHA loans don't exist? No, that's not it at all. In fact, the reason I mentioned that Dan from Cornerstone and Juliana from Qualstar is important is they're both doing it. They're both still being competitively priced right in here, maybe just a tad bit higher for FHA. They're not charging the 2-3 points for an FHA loan. So if you need that, I'll have Marie go ahead and post that so that their contact information is there. Feel free to reach out to them. Do let them know that we said to contact them. That way they know that that we're doing good things for them. Anyway, so with that should answer question number 4. Let me go back to question number 3, and it says. I did a copy paste off of Facebook on these. Can inspectors go out to a home when we go under contract? Okay. There's a lot of misconception on this one because initially movers and stagers and inspectors couldn't happen. But that changed almost immediately within a few days. The logic came into it that said, hey, you know what? If we're going to allow people to go out and purchase homes and sell homes, we should at least allow them to go out and inspect. Now, here's the caveat. The caveat is it's still agent plus one. So the takeaway is that the agent can go in by requirement. It's by our rules with the Northwest MLS. We have to be there, plus the inspector. Okay, so sadly enough, buyers, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, have to stay outside until the inspector comes out and then gives them a report. And that can be given verbally. It's given in a written format. Sometimes they're delivered at that point because they do it on their tablets. Sometimes they're delivered a little bit later after they provide some comments. The answer is yes. So if you go under contract with a home today, yes, you can definitely have an inspection done. Just like for a seller, you can have a staging person. In fact, we're coordinating with a few homes coming on market and a few off market with the staging coordinator that is going to go out and meet with the sellers. We will not be there because they own the home. So technically, we're doing an introduction. Even though it's one of the services that we provide, we'll fund the fee, but they will meet with them direct. That way, they're mitigating and, again, maintaining that social distancing and creating a healthier environment. Not much we're going to say anyway, because like Julie, who does a lot of our staging, you know what? She's a rock star. And so we just want to make sure that, everybody's being safe. All right. Next question. George, what is the outlook for the upcoming months? Okay. I love it when I get asked this question. So I didn't bring my crystal ball polish today. However, here's the thing, and Hannah and I, we had a really great conversation about this again yesterday, and that is this. The good thing is that they confined everybody to their homes, per se, during what we would consider the colder, not as nice time, right? So it was raining and things like that, or it was really cold, except for the last week. But as we roll into the nicer weather and the cabin fever starts to kick in even harder, people are going to venture out. interest rates this low, with inventory still, starting to increase, that pent up demand, basically on that little pressure relief valve, I think that our market is going to improve. I think we are going to continue to see an upward trend. I do not see real estate market, prices, dipping down horrifically. I heard somebody say that, hey, George, our value is going to drop 30%. No, that is not going to happen. Will we drive down in price a little bit, say 3 to 5%? I don't know. I think that's even a little steep, all things considered, because our inventory is low. We have a huge demand that is still stacked up behind us. Things are still, moving along each and every day, each and every week. We had 232 closings in King County alone just yesterday. Okay, that should tell you that people are still doing things. And so it's different than, again, where we were in the Great Recession. All right. So if you have any questions, definitely post them up in the corner so we can answer them for you. And yes, I just got pinged again by the team. All right. So I'm not one to gloat. The most I ever do gloating wise, I guess there we go, are the plaques on the wall for our customer service. We did get notified that in February, let's see if we can hold that up there, we did hit Forbes' list of top 500 real estate agents, real estate teams across the United States. Yes, we did make it in Forbes magazine. So I guess somebody thought we did pretty good. I guess so. I like that. The team, I have to say thank you to the team, and even including our staff, which is awesome. So Jen and Mo and Marie and May and Hassan, Liz, and then of course all of the team members that are with us that many of you have chatted with. So again, if you have any questions, reach out to us. If you're interested in some of the off-market homes that are available that are not on the market, this is our private. These are our private sellers. Yes, because the volume of business and everything we do, we attract a lot of sellers into our system, including a lot of buyers, and we match them within our database itself, an off-market sale. And there's a lot of safety nets that go with it. There's a lot of benefits. It's a lot less stress, which is really awesome for both parties. In fact, both parties end up becoming friends, shockingly enough, right? All right. If you have any questions about this, let me know. In the meantime, post any questions. You guys have an absolutely fabulous day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.